My name is Haley, so you don't know me. When I was 11, my mom died of lung cancer, stage 4. It's been really hard on me, and I'm usually like really shy to do stuff, and I don't know, but like people have been like bullying me a lot, like through my spit and great tears, like calling me fat and ugly and worthless and stuff, and I don't know why, but and then like after my mom died, and like a bunch of my animals I like had to be put down, and then like my grandma came up to help me through my hard times, and then she passed away, and then and then my family, like, I'm sorry, and my family, like,
replaced. It's even better.
and my family, like, the rest of my family on my mom's side and my dad's side, they, like, don't like me anymore ever since everything happened with my mom, and I don't know why, and
So you've been having to rise above for how long now?
I don't know, ever since
She's been coming since we were in the house, I know that. So has it helped you? How?
I've met people and like I feel a lot better about myself, but people that care.
Good. So we do care. Thank you. Where's mine?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, bad.
So I asked her to share her story because to look at her, if you didn't know her, you probably wouldn't think that she had lost her mom, would you? You probably wouldn't think that anyone at all in their right mind had ever called her fat. Right? Hello. How many of you guys have ever been called fat? Thank you. Okay. So I had her share her story because these kind of things are things that happen to people. First of all, when you see somebody, you don't know what their story is. Please don't judge them. Okay? You don't know what they may have gone through. And second of all, the names that you're calling them is probably names that somebody's called you, and probably the same name that somebody else is calling them. You don't know if you're the 100th person that's called her fat or whatever today. You know, you could be that person that makes her want to go home and hurt herself. All right? So think twice before you say something mean to someone. All right. We want to start off with a little game. Yes!
I love games.
Let's see.
I'm trying to record, and there's two red things that are flashing on and off on the right. It looks like a little square with a corner dubbed off with an arrow and a red dot next to it. On the other side, I don't know, it looks like some kind of couple red bars with the letters Q, V, G, A underneath it.
Okay. We're going to play the trust game. You ever play the trust game?
I didn't
Okay.
record the first thing.
I'm going to call back and you'll do that.
Until they share the story and the now trying to conserve the battery.
Don't
Go!
Okay.
Okay. Thank you. I was very scared. Let me have you up here, and Ben, can I have you? Oh, Waylon, can I have you? And Caleb, can I have you? This is it. Okay, I want you guys to help her catch me. Okay? Alright, ready? You guys drop me. I swear. Thank you. You can all be seated. Ben, take it back. Come back up.
Can't believe me now.
You push her. You're gonna catch me by yourself.
You ready?
Ready? Look at all. Okay, thank you. My We are learning a little bit tonight about 2 words.
Trust?
Trust. Fall. Sorry, that's kind of messy. It kind of looks like you're cheating. Okay. Alright, so the reason I did that is because really when Paige was up here, I really was kind of scared. I mean, I knew she'd catch me, but I wasn't about to just like flail back like I did with the rest of you guys, right? Okay. I did that with Ben because I'm married to him and he would have to pay the medical bills if I fell on the ground. Okay? And I did it quickly when I had all of you guys up here because there was a lot of you. And I knew if one of you guys missed, somebody was going to catch me. Okay?
Ben?
So, somebody, right? So my point is, a lot of times, let's start with fear. What is fear? Anybody have a definition?
Being scared.
Being scared. Let's say fear is a feeling of agitation and anxiety caused by the presence of danger. Okay? There was some danger to that, what I just did. If they would have missed, I'd be on the floor and you guys would be having rise above without me because I'd be on the way to the hospital right now. Okay? So there was some fear there. However, the fear was greater when I just had Paige. Alright? Now, trust, on the other hand, is built by a few different things. Okay? What builds trust? Why did I trust Ben more than I trusted Paige?
Because you're married to trust, or you're married to trust. You're married to Ben and you've known him longer.
I've known him longer, right? He's bigger. Love. Exactly. Anything else? Okay. He's stronger. Probably. Probably. Not trying to diss you or nothing. He just probably is. He can get me on the ground. I know he's very strong. Okay. So there are lots of different reasons for trust. None of the reasons include that you just met somebody that day. Okay? So like if I would have asked you to come up here, first of all, I can't even remember your name. What is it? Damien. Okay. It takes me a few times. Sorry. If I would ask Damien to come up here, I'd have been just as scared as with Paige because I don't know Damien. I just met him today. He probably doesn't really care if my head's cracked on the floor, okay? But the point is, if I would have known Damien since he was this high, and we were lifelong friends, then my trust would be more in him, right? Ben and I have been married almost 9 years, okay? So my trust is a little bit more in him than it would be in someone that I just met today. You guys understand that? The reason I ask you, or the reason I'm trying to get you to understand this is because my daughter Lauren, she was killed in a car accident, for those of you that don't know, this past summer. This group is in her honor. But one of the things that she had a problem with was trusting people too quickly. Okay? She'd get a new boyfriend, and buddy, she was off and running, telling him every secret she ever had. How many of you guys have done that before? Okay? How many of you guys have been burnt by that before? Yeah. Okay? So, what I'm trying to get you to understand here is that trust is not something that you just give away. It has to be earned. And if you give it away, chances are you're probably going to be sorry that you did. Okay? Let's focus on fear first. I'm going to erase trust for now. I'm going to actually write it a different way. Oh.
That's how you spell it.
You know why I like to spell it this way? Because it tells me false evidence among appearance
That's what it is.
real. False evidence appearing real. Okay? A lot of times that's what fear is. You're afraid of something that you have an idea of what could happen. Okay? I had the idea that I could be dropped on the ground. That's why I was fearful. How many of you guys are afraid of spiders?
I love spiders.
Okay, raise my hand. How many of you guys are afraid of spiders, even if you don't know if they bite or if they're poisonous, you're just afraid of all spiders. Okay. That would be false evidence appearing real, because if any spider walks in here, I'm going to be afraid of it, and it may not be able to even hurt me. Okay? I'm a lot bigger than a spider, but I'm going to crush it because I'm afraid of it. Okay? Or I'm going to yell for Ben to crush it because I'm afraid of it. So many times we are afraid of things that we don't need to be afraid of. Now, when you're younger, like Kyla's age, Jackson's age, okay? When you're young, you are afraid of a lot of things. What are some of the things that you're afraid of when you're little like that? The dark. What else? The boogeyman. What? Clowns. Your mother? What else? I'll tell you what. Dogs. Yeah. That's the closet. You're afraid of other people? I gotta tell you right now, my sister's afraid of garden gnomes. She really is. They freak her out. I bought her one for her birthday one time. She freaked out. Okay? I just did it for yeah. So when you're little, you have a lot of fears of things that you're not sure of. Okay? You don't know if those things are going to hurt you, so you're afraid of them. Also, you are not afraid of some things that maybe you should be afraid of. Like what? Touching your hand on a hot stove. Kids do that all the time. Running out into the street when traffic's coming. They don't know. They're afraid of
The height.
I mean, they're afraid of the wrong things, and they're not afraid of some of the things they should be afraid of. Okay? So when you grow up, you hopefully learn the difference between those things. Okay, so what are some of the things that you guys are afraid of now? Clowns. Heights. Strangers. What?
Disappointment.
That's a good one. Okay, one of the things I'm looking for that nobody has said yet. Being hurt. Some people are afraid of that, maybe?
Nope.
Yes. Okay.
It came out with some Oh, I like that one. You're not afraid.
Anybody afraid of any of those things? Nobody's afraid of those things?
I am.
I'm not. Not even one of them? I am. Okay, thank you for being honest. All right. Thank you. Let me tell you a little bit about my fear. Okay? I'm not afraid of a lot anymore, but not too long ago, it was probably a couple of years ago, Brittany wrecked her car. And she was someplace she was not supposed to be, and I didn't know where she was. And she called me on the phone and said, "Mom, oh my God, the airbag went off, I don't know where I'm at." And she's just like screaming, crying at me, and I am flipping out. Okay, I was very, very afraid. I didn't know where she was, what had happened to her. I knew she was alive, that was it, but the airbag going off and she's pinned in the car, I'm thinking, oh my God, she's going to be a quadriplegic, I have no idea. So I'm rushing down the road, trying to figure out where in the world she could possibly be. And the only way we found her was because the only way that we found her was we drove down the road until we heard the sirens and turned off onto a side road, and she had driven her car off of a ravine in an embankment and got it pinned between two trees. When I arrived on the scene, I saw them coming with the jaws of life and a backboard and going down into the ravine, and I did not see where she was or how she was, or I didn't have her on the phone or anything. So I was very, very afraid. And I was flipping out, and what ended up happening was she was okay. Jackson, stop. She was okay. We went to the hospital. She had to spend most of the day on the backboard while they did all kinds of tests and things like that, but she was okay. All right, so that was probably the most scary time of my life. And then, this summer, someone came to my door, pounded on the door when I was in bed, and I was like, whatever, I'm sleeping. Ben went down to see who it was, and he came upstairs and said, hurry up and get your clothes on. Somebody's at the door. They said, Lauren's in the hospital. She's got tubes coming out of her. We need to get to the hospital right now. And I was not as afraid as I was when Brittany had called me, because I had been through that before, okay? I was like, okay, it's cool. We're going to get to the hospital. It's all going to be good, okay? Drove to the hospital as fast as we could. I still didn't freak out. I still kept thinking, last time I freaked out, and I'm not going to freak out this time. It's going to be fine. Praying a little bit, asked my friends to pray a little bit, got there, sat down in the room that I call the death room. I still didn't think anything of it. You know, I thought they were going to come out and be like, you know, she's in bad shape, but it's going to be all right. After some different things happened, someone finally just came and sat down and told us, your daughter was in a car accident. I'm sorry, she didn't take you there. And it just hit me like a ton of bricks. But I still didn't feel that fear. I felt surprised and shocked and upset, but I was not afraid like I was with Brittany, because I'd already been through that and it was past the point of fear. Okay? So, what I'm trying to teach you about fear is the more you face your fears, the less they have control over you. And this is important because even though some of these things, some of you guys say that you are not afraid of some of these things, there are going to be times in your life when you are afraid of things. And if you don't learn how to control your fears, they control you. Okay? So we need to learn, first of all, false evidence appearing real. We need to learn that fear is just a feeling. Okay? Fear is not a fact. I was afraid when Brittany had called me because I didn't know. I was afraid of what I felt. Okay? Once I got all of the information, I was not afraid anymore. Okay? Once I got the information about Lauren, I was not afraid because I knew the outcome. I knew the facts. Okay? The fear is that feeling you get because you expect something bad to happen. Now I'm teaching you guys about this because Lauren also had a problem with feeling fear every single day. When she got up, she used to write about it a lot. She wrote a lot of really dark poetry and things like that. When she got up in the morning, when she go to bed at night, she was afraid of everything. I mean, some of the things you guys would think are silly, some of the things you would think are not so silly, because maybe you're afraid of them too. Afraid that something might happen to one of your parents. Afraid that your boyfriend might cheat on you. Afraid that you might fail a class. Afraid that a teacher's going to pick on you, or someone's going to bully you that day. You know, lots of different things to be afraid of the bully, right? Once a bully knows you're not afraid of them, it's no fun to pick on you anymore. Okay? I told you guys last week, I'll march down the road, you know, stick up for any one of you guys. Even if somebody as big as Waylon was picking on somebody, I'd be like, don't you dare touch one of my runs. Not because I'm big, not because I can hurt anybody, but because I have learned to conquer my fear when it comes to people. Okay? I'm still afraid of spiders. I'm not afraid of people. Alright? Matter of fact, one of the administrators at the school, when Lauren used to get in trouble a lot, he uses intimidation. And tried to intimidate not only Lauren, but tried to intimidate me when I would go in there. And I would just sit there and think, this guy's just a person just like I am. He's not any bigger, badder. He doesn't have any special authority other than the fact that he can suspend her, and I don't really care. So when you become older, you learn that people are just people, just like you. You know? You have a lot easier time when you become my age of not letting people intimidate you. Some of us, when you do become my age, you might have a boss that tries to intimidate you or something. All you have to do is remember that person is a person just like me. I'm not any better, but I'm not any worse than them either. We're all just people. We're different. And some people try to use intimidation. Okay? My daughter gets intimidated all the time by someone in her life. And that person's parents. They sit her down and intimidate her and, give her to the point of tears sometimes. But the feeling of fear that she feels is just a feeling. That person is no better than her. Okay? So, also I want you to know that fear is the reason why sometimes you guys refuse to stand up for someone else who's being bullied. Why? What fear am I talking about there?
They'll go after you.
The fear that they'll go after you. What else?
You want to be like them and be popular.
Right, the fear of becoming unpopular. The fear of standing out. Okay? See this lovely outfit I'm wearing today?
It's amazing.
This I wore on purpose because this is not something I typically wear. I feel really, really dumb in this outfit, okay? But I put it on to prove that I'm not afraid to be somebody different. I'm not afraid to come out here in front of you guys and look silly, okay? I am conquering that fear, all right? And you'll find out a little bit more about this outfit later, but for right now, that's that. Okay, so here's the steps for conquering fear. 4 easy steps. Ready? Sit back. Feel the fear. All right? That happens naturally. What I want you to do when you feel it, all right? Recognize. Recognize it's only a feeling. It does not rule you. It's only a feeling. Once you put a label on it and say, that's just a feeling, it's not going to be so scary anymore. Okay? Number 3. Weigh the consequences. What's going to happen if I step out against this fear? And what's going to happen if I hold back? Okay? Weigh your options. Decide what you're going to do. Right now I'm talking in terms of if you're going to stand up for your friend or not, if they're being bullied. Okay? Let's just use that for an example. Alright? You're afraid to stand up for them, but then you realize fear's only a feeling. I can stand up for this person if I want to because I'm strong enough. Weigh the consequences. Am I going to get myself beat up? Am I going to be unpopular? Okay? Or am I going to feel better about standing up for my friend? Am I going to do the right thing? Okay? And then, accordingly. Act accordingly. So, once you have decided to weigh your consequences and decide, okay, these are my options. This is what's going to happen to me if I do this. Okay? Then you can make an educated decision. Because then you're not working with fear as a feeling. You're working with facts. Right? You've got facts on your side. Instead of making decisions from your feelings, you're making decisions from facts. Okay? And you're going to be able to say, okay, I'm making a good decision to stand up for this person, or no, I'm not. Now, what is one thing that you always should pay attention to when you have these feelings? There's a little thing inside your head. Some people have a little angel on their side, a little devil on their side. What's it called? Conscience. Conscience. Yeah. That's how I knew how to tell it. Conscience. Okay, or another word for it is your morals, your upbringing. Okay? So if you're faced with something, you feel kind of afraid about stepping out, like with me tonight, okay? My outfit. This was my fear, okay? What I decided to do with this is say, okay, I'm afraid to dress like this, but I'm going to dress like this because number 1, my rise above others love me and they're not going to laugh at me. And number 2, if they do, I'm going to smack them upside their head. Number 3, it's really not that big of a deal, okay? And number 4, I can say, honestly, I can stand up here and not feel bad about the way I'm dressed because I don't feel like I'm letting it all hang out or, you know, whatever, okay? If I was up here in a mini skirt, you know, with my boobs hanging out or whatever, if I was doing that, listen, making a point. If I was doing that, I would have an issue with my conscience, okay? My morals. I would feel like, you know what, that's not right. Those kids don't come here to see me in a miniskirt, okay? Now this, I don't care. I'm not showing anything, all right? But that's what I mean about your conscience, okay? Same idea with standing up for your friend who's being bullied, okay? Your conscience should tell you whether or not you should stand up for that person or whether you should just let it go, okay? Your conscience should be the one speaking to you on whether you have the courage to do that, okay? If you're going to stand up to that person in the right way and say, you know what, dude, that's not cool, you know? Don't pick on them, they didn't do anything to you. Or if you're going to punch them out instead, you know, which is the better option? Chris?
Can you do both?
Chris, the reason I'm making this
Option C.
The reason I'm making this plain to you guys about your conscience is, it's very important, especially when you're young, that you listen to your conscience. Because what happens when you don't listen to your conscience?
You make bad choices.
You make bad choices. What else?
Sometimes
you regret it. Right? What else? Let me tell you, this comes from experience. When you don't listen to your conscience is going to keep telling you again and again and again, you know what, that's not right, don't do that, don't do that. And the more you ignore it, the fainter that voice becomes. And pretty soon, you can do things without feeling bad at all. And then you're on the path to destruction, and you don't even feel bad about it. Okay? You see these people on these shows all the time, they're on death row and whatnot. They don't even feel bad about what they've done. Okay? And it's because they've never listened to their conscience. Alright, you guys get that?
Yeah.
I want you to learn to listen to that little voice because it's there for a reason. God put that inside you for a reason. Everybody has something inside them. Then what are you doing?
He's bored. I think you need to go outside.
You're being a bad example. Your conscience should be speaking to you right now.
You're freaking.
Nice catch. Okay. So, now that you know you have a conscience, let's try to make sure that we listen to it, okay? All right. You know what else? The more you listen to your conscience, the more you're going to be able to hear it as well. Okay? It works the opposite direction as well. If you listen when your conscience tells you, hey, wait a minute, whoa, back up, it's not right. Say it's cuss words. Okay? Say you say cuss words, and right now, if I was just rattling off a bunch of cuss words, Kyla would be like, I don't say cuss words, okay? But if I said them all the time, she would get used to hearing them, and she wouldn't think there was nothing wrong with it, okay? But she knows there's something wrong with it because she still has it in her conscience that we don't do that. That's wrong. Those are bad words to say, okay? The more you do something and you keep doing it, you keep doing it, you keep doing it, you don't listen to it, you guys can rattle off the F word. I know you can. I know some of you can, okay? You rattle off the F word like it ain't nobody's business. But you don't realize that used to be a bad word to you. You don't realize that word makes you sound trashy. Okay? You don't realize that when people read that on Facebook, they think, really, does she have to use that every other word?
Yeah, I know.
You know? Okay? But also, if you do get a lot of likes, is it also people that say that word too?
Or it's just funny.
But what if it's part of a song?
Why is it funny?
No, I don't just post it like the F word, like on Facebook. When I'm yelling
I
at
didn't even know
somebody,
it's a bad
it's
thing.
in there.
You came up and saying, hey.
But really, is it necessary? No, not really. And let me tell you, the reason I'm stopping right here on this, guys, is not to point anybody out. Rosie's made it clear that she uses that word. That's fine. I love Rosie to death. You guys know I do, okay? The reason I'm stopping here on this is the fact that Rosie may not realize that some people who don't use that word may be offended by that, okay? Some of the things that you do may bother other people, and maybe they don't say anything about it because they're trying to let you have room to be yourself. But really, when you kind of think about it, you don't really need that word, and you really don't sound very nice when you say it. And especially if you grow up and work at a job where you have a boss that's anywhere but a warehouse, you're probably going to not be allowed to say it there either. And then when you grow up and you have children, okay, and little Jackson running around all the time, and you're not going to want your kids to say those words, okay? So that's what I'm just trying to get you to think. If you try to listen to your conscience now while you're young, okay, and not ignore it, because you don't want that voice to go away. It's going to teach you right from wrong, okay? Let's go back to trust, all right? Trust is also, I wanted to teach on fear and trust at the same time, because they're different sides of the same coin, okay? Fear has to be managed. It can be managed or mismanaged. We've learned that, right? Trust is the same way. It can be managed or mismanaged, okay? Trust, you give trust when it's earned, but if you give it away before it's earned, it's mismanaged, okay? So that's why I wanted you guys to kind of get those two together so you could understand that those are two very important things that you need to learn at this point in your life. Either one of those things can rule you. It can make you a better person or can make you a worse person. If you trust everyone that comes in your path, you're going to have a lifetime of heartbreak. Okay, but if you trust no one, you're also going to have a lifetime of heartbreak. Okay? You have to have that happy medium. Same with fear. You have to have a healthy level of fear. You have to be afraid to run out in front of a moving car. Okay? That's healthy. you have to not be afraid to stand up for yourself. That's healthy. Okay? Any of those things, fear and trust, too much or too little, is bad for you. You have to find that happy medium. And the only way that you're going to find that happy medium is by concentrating on the fact that, hey, wait a minute. Right now I'm being faced with a trust situation. What am I going to do? Or, hey, right now I'm being faced with a fear situation. What am I going to do? If you're aware of it, you're going to make better choices. Just like everything that we've learned here in Rise Above since we first started. Okay? Everything that we've learned here is just a matter of making you more conscious of what you say. Okay? Some of my Rise Abovers said some things that hurt some other Rise Abovers this week. Okay? I don't know if they were just being mean on purpose or if they just weren't conscious that what they said would hurt someone. Okay? My ultimate goal here with you guys is to get you to realize that everything that you say and do has the potential to hurt or help someone. Alright? It's your choice what you choose to do. It's your choice to stop and think before those words come out of your mouth. It's your choice to say, hey, wait a minute. What I said hurt that person. I need to apologize. That's your conscience telling you need to apologize, but then how many of you guys don't? Okay? Why don't we listen to our conscience when it comes to that? Because you're hard-headed. Why?
Because you're nervous.
Because you're nervous. This is a good thing to talk about. This is a good thing to talk about here. When you're afraid of apologizing to someone, what are you actually afraid of?
Their reaction.
You're afraid of their reaction.
Like, it could flip both ways. Like, they could say, like, oh, okay, I'm sorry too, or they could just, like...
Okay.
Well, saying sorry and meaning it, and then saying sorry and not meaning it.
Right. Yes.
Maybe it might, like in certain situations, it might make you look kind of like stupid, like, oh, I blew up for nothing. And then
Okay.
they might think, yeah, like you blew up and now all of a sudden you're sorry.
But we are learning inner strength and inner beauty here, right? We're learning that, okay? So how does it take more strength to apologize in the fact that you may end up looking stupid, or does it take more strength to say, you know what, whatever? Which one takes more strength? Apologizing, right? Because why? Because you're putting yourself out there. You are saying, I made a mistake, I'm wrong. Guess what? The only thing that makes you is human. everybody makes mistakes, okay? It doesn't make you any worse than anybody else on this earth. Okay? If you apologize to someone, that's making you a little bit stronger, people. That's making you a little bit shinier. Remember I talked about the sandpaper people? Alright? That rub all the rough corners off of you? You're becoming a more beautiful person when you do things like that. And you say, you know what? I have the strength to do the right thing. The only reason I'm not doing it is because I'm afraid. I have that feeling of fear. Once you realize that, and you conquer that fear, and you say, you know what? I'm going to do the right thing anyway. I don't care if I look stupid. It's just going to make me look human. And you go and you apologize. What can happen? They can say, you know what?
Who cares?
It's good, whatever.
They overreact.
Or they can say, oh, you know what, girl, you're right. You should be apologizing. You know, I mean, they can be like that. But whatever. All I can say about that is, if they act that way, you're the bigger person, okay? And even if they don't act that way, you're still the bigger person because you're the one who got up and did the right thing, okay? Anytime you do something that hurts someone else, you should be the first person to be like, you know what, I'm sorry. Because the quicker you do that, the easier it's going to become for you. The longer you wait, the more awkward it is, right? Yeah. Because Lauren had friends that, not really friends, enemies kind of, that she would get in a fight with, and then months down the road, I'm like, well you're going over to so-and-so. Oh, we're cool now. You know, she never did apologize, but it's just like, just kind of, you know, getting around the subject and around the subject. And go, okay, we're cool. No, you're not really cool. You need to apologize if you hurt someone. That's a grown-up thing to do. Are we learning how to become grown-ups here, people? Yep. We are. And you know what? Sadly, even grown-ups don't apologize sometimes. Ben and I are bad about this. Both of us are very stubborn. We get in a fight, and I'll be like, he can just be mad all he wants, he'll get over it, whatever, I don't care. And he says the same thing, like, don't come around, whatever, you know? So, the best thing for me to try to do is to listen to my conscience when it says, you know what, apologize. Be the first person to apologize. I've never had him say, oh, don't even come to me and apologize. No, he's just like, okay, whatever. And then that's that. Okay, I did the right thing, and it's up to him whether or not he wants to accept it. Okay? It's always right to do the right thing, people. Right, Jackson? That's right. Okay. So, trust. Remember I said we cannot just give trust away willy-nilly. What's a good... You guys like that? What is a good way to learn to manage our trust? What if you're just so used to not trusting people that you just can't even do it? What's a good way to manage your trust? Little at a time. A little at a time. Okay? Let me tell you this. Lauren blew the trust out the window I don't know how many times. Okay? I would trust her. You need to sit down, please. Check yourself. Lauren would she would go and she'd do something terrible and get in trouble, and I'd be like, Lord, here we go again, you know? And then she'd be like, but Mom, you don't trust me. I can never go to anybody's house. Well, I wonder why I don't trust you. Probably because the last time I let you go to somebody's house, you ended up at someone else's house, you know? So what I had to learn to do was trust her a little bit at a time, okay? Instead of just giving her punishment, and then when she was done with her punishment saying, okay, you can go wherever you want now, full trust again. No, you can't do that. When somebody walks all over your trust, the best thing that you can do is not to never trust them again, okay? I love Lauren. She's my daughter. I wanted to trust her. But she had to earn that trust back little by little. So it got to the point where she'd go to this person's house, but not that person's house. You know, this person lives away from town where I know she's not going to get beat up or whatever, you know? Or this person, I know I can trust her mom to keep her in line. Or, you know, so a little bit at a time until finally every time that I called her, hey, where you at? And she was where she said she was going to be, then I learned I can trust her a little bit more and a little bit more. I probably ended up trusting her a little bit more